This is New York's Country 94.7.
Hey, welcome to our radio.com theater. I'm Jesse Addy, and we're pumped. He's got now his fifth album out, Fire and Brimstone. Once again, 15 tracks that he's either written or co-written. He's got a new baby. He's got a lot going on. Brantley Gilbert, man. Thanks.
What's going on, brother? Did you say we're getting plumped?
We're getting plumped and pumped.
That's what it sounded like. Because dad bods are coming back.
I'm working on mine.
I'm leading the charge.
Speaking of dad bods, how's it with the album release week and having two kids?
Oh man, it's amazing. My wife is the rock star right now, man. Being at home with both of them, and I miss them like crazy. And we're wearing the road out here and staying busy, but she's really slinging some work back on.
Yeah, for sure. So
slinging some work. That doesn't sound like an accurate description of what my wife's doing at home.
That doesn't want how you describe a wife and mother.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's not
the love of your life.
Yeah, she's not slinging work. She's but yeah, man, she's momming it up.
That's cool. So, did the albums? Obviously, it's your fifth. Did they get easier or harder in the process of putting it together?
I don't know. I think they're each their own animal. This one was fun, man. The creative vibe, just unbelievable, and it really went throughout the entire process. Whether it was in the writing room or the studio, we did some stuff different. We went to California and recorded a few just to get us outside the box, and actually did some work. Mike Elizondo's studio used to be Death Row, so I did like 4 vocals, including Hayesville and Tupac's like original vocal booth.
Wow.
Which is pretty neat.
That is cool.
Even for a country dude, I thought that was awesome.
When I first saw the title of that song, Welcome to Hayesville, and I know you got the brass knuckles, I thought it was like a pro-bullying song. Like, you're about to get hazed.
Oh, no.
That is not what it is at all.
No, I'm not a frat guy. That wasn't ever really my thing.
Yeah. So, and that song has got obviously Willie on it, Colt Ford, and Lucas Nelson as well. That had to be a lot of. That's a lot of. You guys have done that live yet or not? We
have not done it live. We're saving that for the cruise.
Okay.
The Kick It in the Ship cruise. It goes from November 4th through the 8th. We'll be playing that one and a bunch of new ones.
The title track. I mean, you got so many. Obviously, this big hit single at radio we'll talk about, but the title track, Fire and Brimstone with Alison Krauss and Jamie Johnson. I mean, and her voice to be around that voice. I mean, it's maybe still the most underrated voice in country music.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you, if God sent an angel's voice to earth, He gave it to Alison Krauss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fantastic. There's so many different concepts, I want to call them, or just because you're at so many different points in your life. You're like, obviously, a dad now and a husband, but when you wake up and you look in the mirror, you're like, I still look like that guy that used to go out and race. So you can reach back and pull from that as well. Do you think that, I mean, on all your albums, you've been open about where you are in life, which is so interesting because you're just such a lighthearted, fun, rebel-rousing. That sounds like an old-timey term, but
I'll take it. I like it.
But on the albums and the things you're able to reveal about yourself, it's like a different guy in some ways. A part of you we don't get to see a lot.
Yeah, I think it's a part of what a lot of men like me don't share. Songwriting to me is the truest form of expression outside of prayer. And, if I'm telling people I'm the what you see is what you get guy, and I better dang sure be that guy. And if I don't include those things, and the whole thing's a lie, and it's hard to call something real that don't tell the whole truth.
One of the songs I kept going back to when I was listening to the album, Man That Hung the Moon, which when you listen to it, it's you. I can like literally hear you singing to your son, and obviously it means a lot now that you have a daughter as well. That song is such a moment of where you transition in your life where you're thinking about, well, who am I? Why am I this way? And all these things that sort of happen to you, and then you realize, oh wait, I'm now going to have to answer what I've done in my life, good or bad. I mean, that's for anybody. But the interesting thing, and I think you've raised this point before, is that as a public figure, your kids are going to have access to your history. And for a lot of celebrities, there's things you'd rather discuss later in life, but that's going to come up. Are you ready to have those kind of talks with your kids about?
Thankful I've got a little while. That's another bridge I can cross when I get there.
Yeah.
About like the first guy that comes to pick up my daughter, I'm still working on that murder.
Yeah.
That bridge to cross.
That alibi.
I just slipped right out. Golly. But no, man, being an open book and the what you see is what you get thing works out great, for my career, but not so much as a dad. And I think we'll have to have those conversations a little sooner. But you know, I think as long as I'm not overbearing, I think that was one of the things that kind of pushed me a little wild was, you know, my parents were pretty strict, and it just got to the point with me where I know he's my son, and there was a part of my life, and when somebody told me, "All right, this is what you don't do," it was like, "Oh, I got to try that," you know. So I think, you know, hopefully, I can take a different approach with him and her, and yeah, it's crazy having two of them in one.
It changes things a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, brother, in the best way, and yeah. It'll break your heart because, like, the days are long, the years are short type thing. Like, I'm starting to see all that because he's having her so tiny. They weighed the same thing when they were born, and seeing how big he is compared to her is just it's sad.
Dude, what was it like to have a daughter, though? I guess because, you know, obviously with your first child, it changes everything. Your priorities flip on their head, but it had a different feeling, right, having a daughter?
Oh, for sure. And to be honest with you, it sounds bad, but I still hadn't figured it out completely yet. I'm still trying to figure out my way around her. Like, with him, I was like, he's my son. He's resilient. You know, I can kind of toss him over my shoulder or whatever. With her, I, like, hold her, like, ridiculously careful. And I just feel like, you know, I'm scared to hold her almost. And, but it was a little different experience in the hospital. We actually had one of our family members out on the road die a few days before. So the funeral was the day before she was born. So I was kind of, you know, I was there and I was present, and it was a life-changing experience, and it was beautiful, and she was amazing, and I'm in love with her and was from the moment I saw her. At the same time, with that in the back of your head, you know, it was just it was a little different experience in the hospital. But and this one's a little bit different too, because on the last one, you know, I took 4 months off. I was like, I'm not missing anything. I'm gonna be there for, you know. And then she breastfed, and it was like, well, there's really just not anything for me to do here. So I'm, you know, pacing holes in the floor. So with Bray, I decided, man, just, you know, we're going to mow on through and go play some shows and stay busy. So
yeah, for sure. Wait, when you're talking about, you know, unfortunately, and sorry for your loss with the funeral, and at the same time you birth your daughter, life comes at you from a lot of different angles, and that's kind of what this album is about as well. I know you went back at a certain point to change a few things, but do you always do that, or cause I can't imagine? I can't imagine it ever feels like the album's really done. You just finally get this date; it's got to be out. Right?
Exactly, and you kind of just beat stuff all the way up until that point. We went back, not necessarily to the drawing board, but to the well several times, and man, we're really proud of what we came up with. I feel like there were a couple times we said, all right, the album's done, but even listening through it, I think Scott Borchetta and I both knew, and management, I think we all knew, it's like, man, we're missing another rocker. So we went out and tried to get that, and ended up with the current single and a few rockers, and then it's like, man, these things are fun and they're new and they're exciting. So, you know, a lot of times those will take spots, or you just end up adding to a record. Like this one, I swore I was going to do 12 songs, and we ended up way over that again. So.
And there's probably a deluxe version that's coming at some point.
No telling.
Well, thanks for spending some time with us.
Yeah,
my
man, I
favorite
appreciate
song
you.
is She Ain't Home.
Okay.
That's my favorite song on the album.
That's one of mine, too. I appreciate that. That was me and Brian Davis and Justin Weaver.
Yeah, it's Fire and Brimstone, the fifth album now from Brantley Gilbert. Get all the 2020 tour dates at BrantleyGilbert.com. Thanks for the time, man.
Yeah, brother. Appreciate you having me.
Congrats on the baby.
Thank you, sir.